Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Rangers Supporters Group podcast. As always, I'm joined by Car. Car, how are you doing?
Good, good to be back. Good to get going again. Football's just about back, so buzzing with that.
Yeah, this is going to be in full swing into podcasting every week, unless we're so far afield that we can't, but we'll let you know either way. So, we've had obviously a few pre season games, none of which we've seen really with our own eyes, other than some highlights for last night's one, but no games we could attend, which is quite disappointing, Car, because that was 3 games we had, but none we could actually go to or really found it that much about, to be honest.
No, I mean I get to an extent the Sunderland one because they were playing at their training centre and they didn't want fans in. But to have the Hamilton one and then be like, oh, there is a game, but no one could come and we're not going to show you anything. But they obviously filmed it because in the interview, I think it was Kirsty Howard, they did an interview with her and there's a couple of goals that she scored in that. So they could show us just the goals. If they want to hide whatever else they want to hide, they could show us that. But we're getting nothing this season, it seems like. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like one step forward and 5 steps back, considering the crowds were growing last year, and then suddenly it comes to pre-season and everybody's buzzing, want to go to games, and then we're basically shut out again. So it kind of feels like a bit of a backward step when they were building quite a good fan base and kind of had the ball rolling.
Yeah, especially when, obviously we're at Broadwood, so it's got capacity there to get eyes on it when the men were away elsewhere playing. So we could have got the opportunity to get people in to see the team and see the new signings that we signed, seeing how they play. So we've got no real bearing of how they're going to be until next week we see them first game of the season. So it's a bit frustrating, but it seems to be a thing across the SWPL. If you look at other teams, they've had the same thing where it's all behind closed door games. So I don't know what's going on this season, but it seems to be a bit of a riot.
Yeah, it seems like across the full kind of league, as you're saying, it's kind of they're just shutting fans out, but they're actually getting somewhere. It's then like they're like, oh, we've actually got people coming, we can't have that. We'll just shut them all back out again and go back to kind of square one. But thankfully, we're back next week where we're allowed in, and I think the players are going to be looking forward to that as well because it must be strange for them to have so many people in, seeing the same faces every week, and then no seeing them because they're just maybe the friends and family are there, but there's no other fans in.
Yeah, it must be kind of gutting for them because it's starting a new season. They're all buzzing to get going, and there's no one there to watch them, which is kind of sad. I know a few of them were moaning about it a little bit that they weren't too happy that there was no one there. So thankfully, we got to go to the Scotland game and see a few of them, so that was nice. But would have liked to have a proper pre-season where we could go and watch. But guess that's not to be this year. Hopefully, next year will be a bit better organised.
Yeah, definitely. So we have got some games to talk about. Obviously, we've not really seen the goals that we've scored anyway, other than the couple that were in the Kirsty Howe interview. But how a game obviously was at the training centre, which was obviously accessible to us a few years ago, but obviously wasn't for this game. But I think Hamilton probably had a few trialists and whatnot, and so maybe that was partly to do with it. But some of the young girls were in, so good experience for them. Obviously, they're used to the training centre anyway, but good experience for them to get called up and playing in amongst the first team.
Yeah, Joe's obviously seen something with, I think it was 3 of them that she really liked, so took them to the camp in Spain as well, which is good going when, they're only kind of 15, 16 years old. So Joe's still looking out for the young talent, which is always good to see. And you never know, this season might be the season we see a few more young faces in the squad and getting their opportunity to show what they can do.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously we ran out 14-1 winners in that game. Not really a surprise. Hamilton obviously went down last season, so you kind of knew we were going to run amok, and it would have been a great game for kids to get along in seeing 14 goals. But we'll stop moaning about that now, I think. So on the score sheet, I've had to write this down because there's that many of them. We had Kirsty McLean scoring, Liv McLaughlin, Jodie McCleary, Rio Hardy, Kirsty Howitt got 2, Mia McCauley scored, Kathy Hill scored, Katie Wilkinson got a debut goal that none of us have witnessed, and then Laura Berry got 5 goals. So I know you're going to want to talk about Laura Berry scoring 5, but good that the goals were kind of shared about everybody else as well.
Yeah,
Defenders
good to,
there, midfield, the strikers getting in amongst them.
yeah, good to see Jodie getting the first goal because she seemed to be kind of in and out, struggling with some stuff. So good that she got the first goal, and same with Kathy Hill getting a goal, and then Katie getting her first goal that will probably never see the light of day. So it's a bit of a shame for her, but hopefully Aberdeen next week she can score one that we actually get to see. But Laura Berry scoring 4 uninterrupted is pretty good because we know what she can do. So it's good that she's getting that chance. Seems to be with us so far this season. Hopefully not going out on loan, and we can enjoy watching her thrive this season. But as you say, all across the board, I would have liked a clean sheet, but it's us, so we just give away penalties apparently now.
Yeah, we've not actually coming on to that. Across the 3 games that we've played, we've never had a clean sheet at all. So old habits die hard and all that. We've just got to continue on for last season. Why not? But yeah, Laura Berry scored 4 goals, as you say, and then I think it was after half time she came out, scored another one, and then I think Joe went, right, that's enough, get to your bed. Scored 5 goals. Away you go. But yeah, it was good. I think obviously I think it was 8 goals in the first half and then 6 in the second half or whatever. And as I say, good run out for them. Good for even living that to get on the score sheet. I'm sure the likes of Chelsea and Nick were a bit annoyed that they never got on because we scored that many, but usually they're in amongst it as well. So, yeah, good start. I mean, obviously, as you say, we travelled into Sunderland's training academy, and we won there as well. Literally have very little information on this at all, other than like did Sunderland score first? Did we give the goal away first? And then
No, we scored first.
I know that Kathy and Lizzie were our goal scorers. Apparently Sunderland scored quite a nice goal, but as I say, we'll never see it. Just need to believe them. But that one never even had a match report after it, so I don't know what magic they were doing in there or whatever. We've literally got told that Kathy and Lizzie scored, Sunderland scored, and that's it. But good for Kathy again getting on the score sheet, and then Lizzie scoring as well.
Yeah, I mean, we can't take much from it because we haven't seen any of it. But yeah, I think Sunderland were giving more away than we were because I was keeping track of their updates more than ours to see what was going on because they seemed to be more on the ball with it. But maybe that was by design. Maybe they said they didn't want a full report of what was happening, just literally the goal scorers. But that's fine. Kathy, 2 goals in 2 games, so that'll be good for her. Confidence going into this season because she scored a few last season, so get a few more up and running with her new mates beside her in the back line. So be exciting to see how that plays out going forward. But 2 games, 2 wins, can't really complain at that. And then we'll come on to the next one.
And then it all comes crashing down. So we would go over to Valencia, and it looks like they had a great old time. There was plenty of content for us to watch. Megan Cunningham was supplying us with daily vlogs. The club had kind of content every day, so we went for hearing and seeing very little to being inundated with content, and it was quite enjoyable, some of the stuff.
It was. If we can keep Megan Cunningham around purely just so that she can make TikTok videos that we can all watch every day. I think it was as soon as it was uploaded, we were sending them to each other to watch them because they're quite funny. It seems like they're a good bunch. They all seem to like each other and get on quite well, which is always good to see. It's a nice little behind the scenes, I suppose, of what's going on. So it's good. The little prompt videos were quite good. I would have liked subtitles. I'm always moaning, by the way. I would have liked subtitles or something because they're all talking over each other. I couldn't hear half of them half the time. And then the last one, they didn't really understand. Not the last one, the one yesterday. They didn't really understand the prompt at all. But it's nice that they're trying stuff. They do it with the men's team, so it's nice that they're doing it with the women's team. Give us a little bit more and a few training videos and photos and that from it. So it's good to see. I think not to do what Nick did, but Kathy was seemed to be, the sun was a bit much for her. She was going a bit red in the sun, but I think that would be all of us out there too. I believe it was about 30 degrees, so a bit roasting to be playing football in.
Yeah, definitely. Then we got a wee video, kind of walk and talk with Raf and Wilco, so that was good to kind of learn more about them. They answered a few fan questions. I think they answered Graham, so he was buzzing with that. But I think we need to give a shout out to Ailey Austin because I was buckled watching her just hovering about the back, really taking on the question seriously, thinking through her answers. She's just hovering. If you haven't watched them, you need to go watch them and watch it for Ailey. Like watch them, enjoy them the first time, and then go back and watch for Ailey because the way she's just hovering about in the back, really taking it serious, but just gave me a good laugh. And then the one for today with Kathy and the by Driver just had me in stitches. So yeah, good bunch that they are. Keep us entertained, but yeah, I really enjoyed them. So that was good. Then obviously we came to the Levante game last night. Kind of tea time kickoff. We were hoping that we'd be able to watch it, but it appears there was a trialist in the ranks, so that seems to be possibly a reason why we couldn't watch it. Don't know if it was just that or whatever, but anything, any thoughts on it? I think in our group chat we were kind of saying, like I'd kind of said it's probably a midfielder, and then you kind of thought, well, we've not got a American in the ranks, so it could be one of those. But any other thoughts on it?
Well, it's definitely not Megan Cunningham. Everyone seemed to think it was Megan Cunningham for some reason because people seemed to think she wasn't our player anymore because she was out on loan at Park. And then she comes on for the trialist comes on for a midfielder, so it's obviously not Megan Cunningham. So she's just there for the vibes, it seems like, and to make content because she's not actually been in any of the games. She's just been there to help with training, I guess. But no, hopefully she's good. Hopefully we do get some signing news this week with the game on Sunday, figure out who she is. But nice that Joe's not done yet, I suppose. They're still looking at areas that we need to strengthen in. So hopefully another good one that we get in and see what she's about. But a few missing from the team sheet for that game. I don't know if you want to talk about that. A few notable absentees.
Yeah, Jodie was missing, which we've obviously kind of came to realise she had a bit of a knock that she picked up in the Sunderland game, but should be fine for next week. It's nothing serious. Jane seems to have a bit of a foot injury, so she was at the camp, whereas Jodie was left at home. But obviously Jane was there, just top of her time. The rest of her, same with Sarah Egan's injured, but up in there, rooming with Megan, just keep her company. So a few out. I think Raf also seems to have a knock. She doesn't seem to have played much either, but so a few knocks. So it wouldn't that surprising that we might be bringing in one or two more. If we're going to have kind of knocks here and there. It is also early in this, obviously pre-season and that, where players will pick up knocks because they've had that kind of rest and recovery period, and then they can get kind of wee niggles and that. But I think the Sunderland game were a bit kind of concerned because there was no many subs at all. I think that's what prompted them to take some youngsters maybe just to kind of fill up the bench and give them some experience as well.
Yeah, I think that's what it was because that was the one game. The Hamilton game, we obviously had quite a lot of the youngsters on the bench, even ones that had been put out on loan. I think it was Sophie was put out on loan to Hamilton or Queen's Park or wherever she'd gone. I can't quite remember, but she was on the bench, so that was a bit of a weird one. But obviously, still getting some minutes, which is good. And then the Sunderland game, there was literally no subs, which is weird. So we literally just took the squad that was playing, and that was that. So other than Jodie seeming to pick up a knock late on in the game, I'm glad that no one else got injured because we would have been down to 10 in a bit in the mud with that. But I guess it's just the way that it is. We've got Sarah Ewens, we know she's going to be out for a wee while. Didn't realise what was wrong with Jane, but somebody put in the Facebook page what it was her foot. So hopefully it's nothing too serious and she's back fairly quickly because that's two strikers really that are out injured at the moment. So we'll wait and see what happens. Raf, it could just be like you say that she's had that gap and she's come to a new squad. Joe might train differently that way and she's just picked something up and hopefully nothing too bad. But we never find these things out. We have to go and be detective to figure out like who's missing, why are they missing, what's going on here kind of thing. So we've got some information there, but hopefully going into the season then we've got a trialist, so hopefully she's coming in and then maybe somebody else to kind of shore up. But with Laura Berry now kind of seemingly staying, that's good because then we've got someone else in that front line to kind of help because the shooting, if the Levante game's anything to go by, we definitely need work in that area to sort that out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll come on to that. Obviously, we did get to see some highlights of that. I think when we were following along the thread that obviously the Rangers team were putting out, it seemed to be like Kirsty, how it was missing every 5 or so minutes. She seemed to have a lot of the ball, a lot of action, and when you see it back, she was actually really unlucky with the shots that she had. A couple were probably at the keeper, which is kind of frustrating because we know how good she can be and how clinical she can be. So for kind of doing that, obviously it's pre-season, so we're not going to be too harsh. But you just think was it Levante we played last year and we done
Yeah, we
all
beat
right
them.
against, we beat them. So we're kind of thinking, well, we've strengthened a bit, so hopefully we'll go and kind of kick on. But we just want to taking our chances, to coin that old phrase. But obviously, Kirsty kind of hit the post. Rio had a couple of chances as well. Liv fired one that I think's maybe landed on the moon. It was so over the bar, but yeah, I think that's for the attacking. Defensively, do you want to talk about the defence?
I mean, from the two goals that they scored, the first one, Jenna initially saves it, which is good, but she saves it with her foot, which just immediately puts it back into the player's path that went for the initial shot and just puts it past her, which it's not too bad. She probably could have done a little bit better, but that's what it is. The second goal in my eyes is horrendous. They're just, you can hear Joe screaming at them, get tighter, and there's just a long ball from the left into the middle. Lassie runs onto it, and they're just kind of split the scene. She just runs between them and puts it past Jenna. Maybe it's the heat, maybe it's been a long camp, maybe you don't know what it is, but we should be doing better there. When last season we beat them 1-0 with a Laura Berry goal that was just kind of bundled in. But I'm not going to take too much from it. They are a good side. They're competing with the likes of Barcelona. Yeah, Barcelona.
Yeah,
That's the right league. Yeah. They came third 2 seasons ago behind them. So, they're not a bad side. I even said that last season. But I think last season they had a bit of a depleted squad because I think they had a few at the Euros. So obviously they maybe weren't picked for the Olympics. I don't know the situation with them. But they seem to be quite a strong squad, so it is what it is. We need to do better, but we're coming up against Aberdeen, so if we don't go out and absolutely hammer them, I'll be very disappointed.
Yeah, I think with that second goal, I think Nick kind of gets back just obviously too late because she got past her, but she was trying. When I think Kathy was out on her feet at that point, she was so far away from the ball. But again, it's pre-season. We take it kind of with a pinch of salt, but it's a good test against a good team for obviously the European game that's going to be coming up fairly shortly at this rate. But yeah, so 2 wins and a loss for pre-season. Plenty of minutes in the legs for the majority of the squad, so we'll get the players back that have been injured, and hopefully we hit the ground running next week. So we'll come on to that game. Obviously, we play Aberdeen next week. Just a nice long trip up the road for the first game of the season.
Great, isn't it? The first few games are all long road trips up, so it's what it is. It gets them out of the way, I suppose, rather than winter when they might get called off because of frozen pitch or what have you. So not too bad. At least it'll be potentially a bit warmer than it normally is up there. I don't know, but it should be quite a good game. I think they've strengthened quite well. They've signed their manager as a Champions League winner as a manager and things like that. I didn't look into him too much. I saw the name and everyone was boasting about him. So they've obviously recruited quite well. They have lost a fair few of their young star players. Their top goal scorer went to Hearts. So did a couple of the other ones, and others have gone to various other clubs. So they have lost a kind of core of their youth setup, which were their mainstays. So it should be interesting to see how they line up. But all that matters is the way we line up, and hopefully we just go out there and score as many, be as ruthless as we need to be, because it came down to goal difference. Well, it nearly came down to goal difference last season. Close enough. That we need to be scoring more than 10 against these teams, especially early on in the season when we've still got fresh legs, we're still kind of getting used to it. And then towards the end of the season, we can slow down a bit, but we have to be absolutely relentless and just score as many chances as we get, because a fair few of them just end up over the bar and outside the post, which isn't good enough.
Yeah, definitely. So, in terms of the team, would you stick Wilco in that in there? Obviously, the new players, or obviously Raf's kind of injured now. So, would you stick Wilco in to see how she gets on, or would you go with the tried and tested Hardy Howitt duo up front?
I feel like she'll maybe start with Kirsty and Rio, or potentially Laura Berry, just because she knows, and it's not like kind of throwing her in to the deep end straight away. But if she's played a couple of pre-season games now, so she's kind of used to the system, whatever system Joe's playing with this season, because I don't really know what it is anymore with us losing a few players last season, so I don't know if it's 4 at the back or if it's 3 at the back or what it is anymore, so that'll be another interesting thing to see. But I'd imagine she'll stick with Kirsty and Rio to begin with, and then see if we get on and give probably a lot of the new players minutes just to kind of give them some of that game time, see how they're playing.
Yeah, so it'll probably be, I would imagine, Jenna in goals because Megan's just here for the vibes and sit on the bench so far.
Vic's not back.
The Olympics, which she never even played in, so just a wee holiday in Paris for her. I would imagine it will be Leah Eddy in that kind of Rachel McLaughlin role, Kathy and Nick, as you'd expect. And then the midfield's fairly tricky to pick for because we've got Innie back, we've got Liv in there, we've got Chelsea, we've got Tess that can go back in the midfield. So who do you stick in there? We're also obviously Brogan and Lizzie, potentially a new one in there, who knows? So who do you go in the midfield?
I mean, Kirsty McLean, she's always got to be the first name in the midfield. Liv, definitely, because she did really well against Aberdeen last season. Chelsea, I think I'd go with Chelsea as well because those three work really well together. And then on the wings, Brogan probably, and then Mia, I think, because she's probably one of our best. Well, or you want to believe one of the best wingers we've got. So I'd probably be mine. I know Tess is a bit of out of luck now that she was playing in the defence, and now we've got defenders in, so she might not get as much game time, but I'm sure she's not too bothered as long as the team's winning things. But that'd probably be mine, just because they all work really well together. We know their strengths with each other. Obviously, don't know how Leah Eddy pairs up there. I don't know if her and Brogan maybe have a good partnership the way that Rachel and Brogan has, so we'll need to see how that plays out this season. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think I kind of noticed on the Levante that Tess was back kind of, well, it looked like she was in the midfield, but the defence was a bit over the shop, so I don't know if she was just dropped back for midfield or what, but she's got minutes anyways. Whether she starts on that next week, it'll be interesting to see, but we've certainly added that more depth into there. Obviously, we're keeping Laura Berry in that as well, so it'll be interesting to see who Jo goes with, so we'll find out that obviously next week. That's a 4:10 kickoff, and it's on BBC Alba, and I think it's pay at the gate. Is that right?
Yeah, it usually is. The only time they ever did tickets was when it was at Pittodrie, and it's
Yeah.
usually, I can't remember if it's cash or card or both, but I'd take cash along, folks, just in case, because the nearest cash machine's pretty far away, so I'd grab some before you head up, just in case it is cash only. But I'm sure they'll put out information this week sometime, so you know what's going on.
Yeah, I think they'll probably put it out. I don't know if they've got a game or that this weekend. Well, today it would probably be. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on their socials, and we'll put obviously any information we get up as well. So we shall do our season predictions to see, so that we can come back to this and see how right or wrong we were. So I'll just go first because I need to get. I think you need a minute to maybe think about it. So top goal scorer, I think I'm going to go with Wilco. I think she's going to come in and do really well. She was obviously top goal scorer in the championship. Is that right?
Mhm.
Any for assists, as long as she stays injury free. I think we predicted her last year, and she wasn't too far off it, despite being at half the season. So yeah, and I think 2 or 3 trophies. I think I'm just going to go for 3. I'm going to be optimistic and say we're close last year, nearly got the treble, so they're going to want it next year. So I'm going to go for. I'll put 3 trophies. Going to win them all. Going to retain the 2 I've got and add that league title to it, and we'll be partying this time. This time next year, full summer basically. Alan obviously put in his earlier. He's went for Rio top goal scorer. Eddie with the top assists, and he's going for 3 trophies as well. So it's up to you. See if you agree or disagree with any of that.
As much as I want to say Laura Berry for top goal scorer, I'm going to be a little bit realistic here. This is going to come to bite me. Guarantee she will be now that I've said that. I think Rio will keep going the way she has going. Top goal scorer. I think it's hard to argue against Kirsty McLean being top assists. It's just what she does. She's involved in everything. So I think I'll have to agree with both of you there for that. I mean, we're going to win the league. I know that much. We have to. There's no ifs or buts about that. That absolutely has to happen. The rest, I actually don't care about. Obviously, I want to win a treble. Everybody wants to win a treble. But as long as we win the league, that's all I care about. But I think we've done it, twice in a row now with the League Cup. So I think we'll go for a hat trick of League Cups there. I think we'll win that as well. And I'll say we'll win all 3 of them, just out of pure Joe's going to do it. Joe goes, they were all so gutted last season that we didn't do it, so I think we're going to do it this season.
Yeah. If you had sat on the fence and said maybe only 1 or 2 trophies after all of last season, be like, treble. I'd be like, stop the podcast. What's going on?
I just have to lay out my reasoning. I feel like I'm at school again and I have to lay out my working of how I got there.
Yeah, no, so we're very optimistic, obviously, so it looks to be hopefully a good season for us if we are all Mystic Meg and turn out to be correct. Just some other housekeeping. We've got our Fantasy Premier League, it's obviously the English one, but we'll also put the women's one up. The link will be in the description of this if you want to join. And Alan's, I think he's revamped the score predictions that we do in the Facebook group a wee bit, possibly, so that'll be up sometime this week, probably tomorrow, Monday, I would imagine. So get involved with that. It was it was good fun last year. I don't know what I was trying to use to describe that, but yeah, it was fun. So it's good to get involved. I'm not very good at it, but it's fun anyway. And it kind of lets you keep an eye on the rest of the scores and that as well. I think you done quite well in it last year.
I started off well and then I kind of tailed off towards the end, but I did miss 1 week and my scores were all over the place because I still thought we were going to win games 8-0 and it turns out it was just 1 at points, so I lost a few points there, but it is good fun. Everybody gets involved and it does make you keep an eye on the rest of the league, which I think is going to be quite tight and exciting this year with the way that Hibs and Hearts and even Partick Thistle have recruited this season, so it's definitely going to be interesting what's going on with the rest of the league.
Yeah, there's also that change for teams going down as well, so it'll be interesting to see, like those teams at the bottom are going to be fighting for their lives at the start of the season, so they're not at the bottom to go down. I think Partick have taken on absolutely everybody that they can. Seems like every other day there's like a new signing for them, but they seem to be looking quite strong, so it'll certainly be interesting. So, have you got anything else to add, or is that us pretty much?
No, just the Arsenal tickets are on sale. We had a bit of bother with them, but I'm sure they're fine now. But make sure that you're going into the away section link and not buying the South Stand tickets at the home side of the link, because I don't know if they've split the South Stand, so we're only getting part of it or what it is, but just in case people have done that and then they end up in the wrong stand, and I don't know what it's like down there with women's football. Hopefully there's no issues if people are sat in the wrong place, but just make sure you're in the right place. But they're all sorted, so we've got the tickets, we've got kick-off time confirmed for all that, so that's one to look forward to, or dread, whichever side of the fence you sit on.
Nah, we're looking forward to it. Also, just while you're mentioning tickets, season tickets are on sale as well. I think there's a deadline of sometime in August. I think it's just before the first game of the season, so if you want to get your season ticket, it's really good value for money for the home games. Get involved. I know people were obviously having a bit bothered at first because they put renewals out, but they put it up as if everybody could do it, so still a learning curve, I suppose. But yeah, get your season tickets, get tickets to support them in London. We aren't putting a bus on because a plane's quicker and the train's not that much quicker, so just make it okay. If you need help with kind of where to go and stuff, we can help with that, but otherwise you're on your own.
Yeah.
Get your tickets for Arsenal, and then obviously next week should be pay at the gate, but if it changes we'll let you know, and get your season tickets, buckle up, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you next week. As always, thank you to Car for joining me.
Thanks, Laura. It's always fun to do these, and we're back in the swing of things now, so we're ready to go.
Yep, definitely. We're back, good to go, and we will see you very soon. Thank you very much.